Warning: the golden block of cheese in your refrigerator could be the very thing keeping you from a vibrant and long retirement, or it could be a silent saboteur of your heart health. Did you know that over 85% of adults over 60 still eat cheese at least twice a week? It is a staple of the American diet. But nearly every senior is making one critical mistake in the cheese aisle that could cut precious years off their life. Yet the solution is so simple. Almost 99% of seniors have no idea they are eating cheeses that could quietly double their heart attack risk and slash their chance of hitting 80 by 40%. It sounds shocking because the cheese section at the supermarket looks so innocent with its bright colors and healthy-looking labels. But the truth is, it hides more secrets than most of us realize. In this video, we will reveal the 4 cheeses you must add to your plate and the 4 you need to kick out for good if you are over 60. The scariest part is that the #1 worst cheese could skyrocket your stroke risk by a staggering 80%, and you have probably eaten it this week without a second thought. These are not just rumors. This is cold, hard science that most people never hear. Before we dive into these life-saving details, please take a moment to let us know in the comments below where you are watching from and your age. We also want to know which cheese you eat most often. We are reading and replying to every single comment because your health journey matters to us. Also, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Seniors Healthy Living, for more science-backed tips on aging gracefully. Now, without any further delay, let us get to the countdown, starting with the cheeses that do your body the most good. We begin with number 4, which is aged Gouda. Let me tell you why aged Gouda is like a superfood disguised as a delicious snack. When Gouda ages for at least 18 months, something remarkable happens at the molecular level. This transformation changes it from a simple dairy product into a genuine nutritional powerhouse for healthy aging. During the long aging process, proteins break down into smaller and more digestible compounds called bioactive peptides. Your body can absorb these far more efficiently than the proteins found in fresh or minimally aged cheeses. This is especially critical as we get older because our digestive systems become progressively less efficient. We simply do not break down complex protein structures as well as we used to. This means we need higher quality and more bioavailable protein sources just to maintain our lean muscle mass and immune function. Think of someone like Robert. Robert is 72 and started feeling weaker in his legs. By switching to high-quality aged proteins like Gouda, he is giving his body the building blocks it needs without the digestive strain. But here is where it gets particularly important for senior health. Aged Gouda contains exceptional concentrations of vitamin K2. This is a nutrient that most people have never heard of, but it plays one of the most critical roles in cardiovascular protection and bone density preservation. Vitamin K2 in aged Gouda acts like a biological traffic director for calcium in your body. Instead of allowing calcium to deposit in your arterial walls where it creates dangerous plaque and increases stroke and heart attack risk, the vitamin K2 actively redirects it into your bones and teeth. This provides structural strength and fracture protection. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Science found that populations with higher dietary vitamin K2 intake demonstrated up to 52% less arterial calcification. They also had significantly stronger bone density markers compared to those with low consumption. Imagine your arteries staying flexible and clear while your bones stay strong like a younger person. That is the power of adding aged Gouda to your diet. It is not just about the taste. It is about a strategic defense against the common ailments of aging. When you are at the store, look for the blocks that are dark yellow or even orange and have those tiny crunchy crystals. Those crystals are a sign of long aging and high nutritional value. Moving on to number 3 on our list of health-boosting cheeses, we have genuine Parmesan cheese. Real Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy is not just a topping for your pasta. It is essentially an edible multivitamin that happens to deliver extraordinary flavor. It is very important to note that this is not the product in the green can at the grocery store. That powdered version is typically filled with cellulose, which is wood pulp, as well as anti-caking agents and preservatives. Those products bear no nutritional resemblance to the authentic version. Genuine Parmigiano Reggiano is produced using methods that have remained unchanged for nearly 900 years. This traditional aging process creates a cheese with a nutritional profile that modern science continues to validate every single day. Just 1 ounce of this cheese contains approximately 10 grams of complete and highly bioavailable protein. But it is the quality and the digestibility of this protein that distinguishes it from virtually every other food source available to seniors. The 24 to 36-month aging process breaks down protein structures so thoroughly that they are essentially pre-digested at the molecular level. This makes them accessible even to seniors with significantly reduced stomach acid production or compromised digestive enzyme activity. These are universal consequences of aging that dramatically reduce how much protein we actually get from our food. For someone like Susan, who is 68 and occasionally struggles with indigestion, real Parmesan can be a game changer. It provides the protein her muscles need without making her feel heavy or bloated. The calcium content in Parmigiano Reggiano is also extraordinary. At approximately 330 milligrams per ounce, it exceeds the amount in a full glass of milk. But unlike supplemental calcium or even the calcium in fluid milk, the calcium in this cheese is delivered alongside the precise ratio of phosphorus and magnesium. This ratio maximizes intestinal absorption and directs the minerals into your bone matrix rather than into your soft tissues like your heart valves. Research from Italian nutritional institutes has consistently documented that calcium bioavailability from Parmigiano Reggiano approaches near complete absorption. This is compared to only 25 to 30% absorption from many isolated calcium supplements. The cheese also provides all 9 essential amino acids in proportions that make it a complete protein source. This is comparable to lean meat in terms of biological value. At the same time, it is naturally lactose-free because the lactose is broken down during the long fermentation. This makes it far easier on the aging digestive system. Parmigiano Reggiano also contains naturally occurring tyrosine. This is an amino acid that your brain uses to synthesize dopamine and norepinephrine. These are the neurotransmitters governing your alertness and your cognitive focus, as well as your mood stability. We know these often decline with age, especially with the neuroinflammation that processed food diets accelerate. The best way for you to consume this cheese is to break it into small natural chunks rather than grating it into a fine powder. This preserves the crystalline amino acid and mineral structures. Eat it after meals, as many people in Italy traditionally do. About 1 ounce after dinner aids digestion and delivers a concentrated protein boost that supports overnight muscle protein synthesis. This is vital for maintaining your strength as you sleep. When you are shopping, always look for the pin dot printing on the rind that says Parmigiano Reggiano. This ensures you are getting the real thing with all the health benefits we discussed. Now let us talk about number 2, which is grass-fed raw cheddar. Properly aged raw cheddar from grass-fed cows is one of the most nutritionally complete and therapeutically valuable whole foods available to older adults. Unfortunately, it is being significantly underutilized by the population that could benefit from it most. When cheddar is produced from raw and unpasteurized milk and aged for a minimum of 60 days, a natural miracle occurs. Any potentially harmful bacteria are naturally eliminated through the acidification process. Meanwhile, the beneficial enzymes and probiotic strains remain fully intact. In pasteurized cheeses, these are destroyed by heat. These native enzymes dramatically improve how your body digests the fats and proteins in the cheese. They also enhance the bioavailability of fat-soluble vitamins. These are among the most critically deficient nutrients in the senior population today. Grass-fed raw cheddar contains up to 500% more conjugated linoleic acid than conventional pasteurized cheddar. It also has a substantially more favorable omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratio. This creates a powerfully anti-inflammatory nutritional profile. This anti-inflammatory effect is particularly significant for seniors managing chronic joint pain or cardiovascular disease risk. It also helps with metabolic syndrome and the neuroinflammation associated with cognitive decline. If you find your joints aching more in the morning, the healthy fats in grass-fed cheese could help dampen that internal fire. The vitamin content of grass-fed raw cheddar is genuinely exceptional. It has high concentrations of retinol, which is the most bioavailable form of vitamin A. This supports your immune competence and your eye health as well as cellular repair. It also provides meaningful concentrations of vitamin D. This is critically important given the widespread vitamin D deficiency among seniors over 65. You will also find significant amounts of vitamin K2 in the specialized form known as MK4. Research identifies this as the most potent variant for preventing arterial calcification and directing calcium into your bones. It also contains antioxidant vitamins like vitamin E and beta-carotene. These protect your cellular membranes from the oxidative stress that accelerates aging at the tissue level. What fundamentally distinguishes grass-fed raw cheddar from all the pasteurized alternatives is its living probiotic ecosystem. Raw cheddar supports dozens of beneficial bacterial strains. These strains collectively reinforce your gut barrier integrity and regulate your immune system. They even communicate through the gut-brain axis to support your mood stability and cognitive resilience. These probiotic bacteria also generate butyrate. This is a short-chain fatty acid that nourishes the cells lining your colon and produces potent systemic anti-inflammatory effects throughout your entire body. To get the most out of this cheese, you must never heat it above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature threshold destroys both the beneficial enzymes and the probiotic strains responsible for the health benefits. Allow the cheese to reach room temperature before you eat it. This brings out the full flavor profile and ensures the fats are in a state that is easy to digest. Try pairing it with naturally fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or pickles. This creates a synergistic effect that supports a healthy gut microbiome. Look for labels that specifically say raw milk and grass-fed or pasture-raised to ensure you are getting the highest density of nutrients possible. At the very top of our list at number 1 is Swiss Gruyere. Authentic Swiss Gruyere deserves the top position because it represents the most complete integration of superior nutrition and exceptional digestibility. It offers documented senior health benefits that are simply unmatched by any other cheese currently produced in the world. Real Gruyere from Switzerland must be produced from raw milk, sourced exclusively from cows grazing on high-altitude alpine meadows. This geographical specificity creates a foundational nutritional quality that no industrial dairy product can ever approach. The unique bacteria cultures used during the minimum 12-month aging process for Gruyere generate propionic acid as a natural metabolic byproduct. Research associates this compound with a measurable reduction in systemic inflammation and improved cholesterol regulation. It even shows direct inhibition of certain inflammatory pathways involved in colorectal health risks. These same bacteria also produce vitamin B12 in concentrations that rival or even surpass most animal protein sources. This makes Gruyere particularly valuable for seniors experiencing the vitamin B12 deficiency that becomes nearly universal after age 65. This happens because our bodies produce less intrinsic factor and stomach acid as we age. Gruyere also delivers the highest concentrations of glutathione precursor compounds of any commonly available cheese. Glutathione is your body's primary antioxidant and detoxification molecule. Its natural production declines significantly and progressively with age. This decline contributes directly to the accelerating oxidative stress and immune deterioration that many people experience after 60. The specific amino acid profile in Gruyere, particularly its elevated serine and glycine content, directly supports glutathione production in your liver and immune cells. This provides a level of antioxidant support that no isolated supplement can replicate with the same efficiency. The cheese also provides an exceptional mineral matrix of phosphorus and zinc and selenium. These work together to protect your bone architecture and sustain your immune surveillance. They also support thyroid hormone production and activation. These three physiological systems are simultaneously under increasing pressure after 60. Most seniors are not adequately protecting them through their current dietary choices. Swiss research examining elderly populations who consumed Gruyere regularly documented significantly better preservation of lean muscle mass over a 3-year period. This was compared to seniors of the same age who got their protein from other sources. This outcome is attributed to the unique protein structure of Gruyere, which allows for direct intestinal absorption without taxing an aging digestive system. It also contains naturally occurring peptides that have been shown to lower blood pressure through a mechanism similar to certain medications, but without the side effects. You can incorporate Gruyere by melting it very gently into warm soups just before serving, or simply enjoy it with a slice of whole grain bread. This combination optimizes the absorption of B vitamins. Now that we have covered the best 4 cheeses for your health, it is time to turn to the dark side of the cheese aisle. We are going to look at the 4 cheeses you should never let near your plate if you value your heart and your memory. Before we reveal these dangerous choices, please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon right now. We publish science-backed content for seniors every single week to help you stay healthy and independent. The next 4 cheeses we are about to discuss could explain many symptoms you might have been ignoring for years, such as high blood pressure or brain fog. Do not miss a single one of these warnings. We start the negative list at number 4 with processed cheese slices. Those individually wrapped cheese slices might be the most convenient item in the dairy aisle, but they are among the most metabolically damaging foods a senior can consume. They are unfortunately in more refrigerators across the country than almost any other dairy product. These processed products typically contain less than 51% actual cheese by weight. The rest of the product is a carefully engineered combination of emulsifiers and phosphate salts, as well as artificial colors and industrial fats. Regulatory agencies actually allow these to be labeled as cheese product rather than real cheese. The sodium content alone represents a serious cardiovascular threat to seniors. Just 2 thin slices can deliver over 600 milligrams of sodium. That is more than a quarter of the maximum daily recommended intake for adults over 60 who have blood pressure concerns. And this sodium arrives primarily in the form of disodium phosphate and sodium citrate rather than natural salt. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension has linked the chronic consumption of these phosphate-based food additives to accelerated arterial stiffness. This means your arteries become less flexible and more prone to damage. It also impairs how your kidneys clear phosphate and increases the risk of cardiovascular mortality. These effects are measurably worse in seniors who already have kidney issues or hypertension. The emulsifiers commonly used in these slices, like polysorbate 80, have been shown in gut studies to erode the protective mucus layer in your intestines. This increases intestinal permeability, which is sometimes called leaky gut. It allows toxins to enter your bloodstream and reduces the population of beneficial bacteria in your colon. This disruption creates a cascade of inflammation throughout your body. You might see elevated markers of inflammation in your blood tests, or find that your insulin resistance is getting worse. It can even accelerate cognitive decline because a healthy gut is directly linked to a healthy brain. Artificial colorants like yellow 5 and yellow 6 are also present in many of these varieties. These have been associated with allergic reactions and other health concerns in long-term studies. Even more concerning for seniors is the presence of residual trans fats. There are regulatory loopholes that allow manufacturers to claim 0 grams of trans fat if the content is below 0.5 grams per serving. However, if you eat these every day, those small amounts accumulate and continue to raise your bad cholesterol. The inconvenient truth is that processed cheese slices offer seniors only the illusion of nutrition. They might list calcium and protein on the label, but they deliver a chemical environment that actively undermines your health. It is much better to choose a slice of real aged cheddar instead. Coming in at number 3 on our list of cheeses to avoid is pre-shredded cheese in bags. This product occupies a massive share of the market and sits in the refrigerators of millions of seniors who use it for convenience. Most people assume that the cheese in the bag is essentially the same as the block cheese they could shred themselves. However, this is not true. The differences have meaningful implications for your gut health and your nutrient absorption. The fundamental problem is the anti-caking agent matrix that manufacturers add to the bag. They need to prevent the shredded pieces from clumping together during storage. These additives often include cellulose, which is literally derived from wood pulp fiber, as well as potato starch. In many products, they also add natamycin, which is a broad-spectrum antifungal antibiotic. These additives can make up to 4% of the total weight of the product. While cellulose is not considered acutely toxic, it is completely indigestible. In sufficient quantities, it can actually impair your absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A and vitamin D and vitamin K2. It does this by physically coating the cheese particles and preventing your digestive enzymes from reaching the healthy fats underneath. This is particularly bad for seniors because we are already at a high risk for these vitamin deficiencies. We might be eating cheese specifically to get these nutrients only to have the additives block them from being absorbed. Natamycin presents an even more direct concern for your gut microbiome. Because it is a clinically active antibiotic, regular exposure through your diet can suppress the beneficial species in your colon. This contributes to a state of imbalance in your gut. This imbalance can accelerate immune aging and increase the chronic low-grade inflammation that underlies so many degenerative conditions. Furthermore, the increased surface area created by shredding the cheese accelerates the oxidation of the fats. This destroys the sensitive vitamins much faster than if the cheese were still in a solid block. Pre-shredded cheese also frequently contains significantly higher levels of histamine. This is because the extended manufacturing and packaging timeline provides more opportunity for histamine-producing bacteria to grow on that expanded surface area. Histamine intolerance is much more common in adults over 60. It can cause symptoms like migraines and skin flushing, as well as heart palpitations and digestive distress. This happens because our bodies produce less of the enzyme that breaks down histamine as we get older. A simple way to protect yourself is to purchase your cheese in block form and take the 5 minutes to shred it yourself right before you eat it. This small amount of effort protects you from a meaningful accumulation of these nutritional risks. It also tastes much better and melts more smoothly without the gritty texture of the wood pulp and starch. Number 2 on the list of dangerous cheeses is cheese spread in jars. These shelf-stable products that require no refrigeration until they are opened should genuinely alarm any health-conscious senior. If you read the ingredient list carefully, you will see that these products are cheese in legal classification only. They typically contain more modified food starch and fractionated palm oil than actual dairy. The heavy processing required to make them spreadable at room temperature destroys any residual nutritional value. Instead, it concentrates the ingredients that are most harmful to senior cardiovascular health. Most commercial cheese spreads contain partially hydrogenated vegetable oils or intraesterified fats. Both of these act like trans fats in the human body regardless of what the nutrition label says. Partially hydrogenated oils are so closely linked to heart disease that they have been banned or restricted in many places, yet they still persist in certain formulations. Even the newer fat replacements show evidence of impairing your insulin sensitivity and promoting a poor cholesterol profile. The sodium burden in these jars is also extraordinary. A single serving of just 2 tablespoons frequently delivers up to 600 milligrams of sodium. This sodium comes almost entirely from industrial emulsifying salts. Research links these specific salts to the calcification of your blood vessels. They also put a heavy load on your kidneys and can increase a hormone associated with higher mortality risk in seniors with even mild kidney decline. Many of these spreads also contain hidden glutamate compounds like monosodium glutamate. You might see them listed as natural flavoring or autolyzed yeast extract. These compounds can cause migraines and heart rate changes in sensitive individuals. Perhaps most significantly for seniors who are concerned about cancer risk and hormonal health are the plasticizer compounds like phthalates. These chemicals can migrate from the flexible plastic packaging or the liners of the jars into fat-rich products like cheese spreads. Exposure to these chemicals has been linked to thyroid issues and insulin resistance as well as testosterone suppression. These are all conditions that are very relevant to the senior population. Cheese spreads offer you 0 nutritional benefits that you cannot get more safely from real aged cheese. They are essentially a concentrated combination of harmful industrial fats and excessive salt and potential endocrine disruptors. If you enjoy a spreadable texture, try mashing some real soft goat cheese or a bit of ripe brie instead. These provide real nutrients without the chemical cocktail found in the shelf-stable jars. Your heart and your kidneys will thank you for making the switch to a more natural option. Finally, we reach the most surprising and potentially dangerous cheese on our entire list. Number 1 is blue cheese. While many people view blue cheese as a sophisticated and healthy choice for a salad or a cheese board, the research shows it poses specific health risks for seniors over 60. Blue cheese gets its unique appearance and pungent flavor from mold species like Penicillium roqueforti. While these molds are generally safe for the general population, blue cheese carries a specific combination of biochemical risk factors that make it uniquely risky for older adults. This is especially true for those who are managing their blood pressure or taking common medications. Blue cheese contains extraordinarily high concentrations of tyramine. This is a substance that forms during the breakdown of proteins as the cheese ages. In healthy younger adults, tyramine is rapidly broken down by enzymes in the gut and the liver before it can cause problems. However, many seniors take medications known as monoamine oxidase inhibitors. These are used for depression or Parkinson's disease or even anxiety. If you are on one of these medications, or even if your natural enzyme production has slowed with age, consuming blue cheese can cause a hypertensive crisis. This is an acute and dangerous spike in blood pressure that can lead to a stroke or a cardiac event. Even if you are not on those specific medications, the high histamine content in blue cheese can trigger significant inflammatory responses in the senior body. This can manifest as joint pain or headaches or even sudden fatigue, so there you have it. You now know the 4 cheeses that can help you live longer and stay sharper while protecting your heart. You also know the 4 that could be quietly accelerating the very decline you are trying to prevent. If you are over 60, making the right choice at the cheese counter is not just a minor preference. It is a decision that directly impacts your arterial health and your bone density, as well as your cognitive function. The science is clear and the evidence is real. You now have the knowledge to make every meal work for you and not against you. We want to hear from you now. What is the one cheese you could never give up even after hearing these facts? And have you ever noticed a change in your health after changing your dairy habits? Share your experience in the comments below because we love reading every single one. If this video helped you, please hit like and subscribe for more science-backed senior health content every week. Share this video with a friend or a loved one who deserves to know the truth about what is in their refrigerator. We are here to support your journey to a long and healthy life. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.